And I'm Sora.
And welcome to Strangers in Fiction. I can't remember what
Yay.
number this episode is, but I think it's 7.
Yes.
Okay,
Pretty
welcome
sure it's
to
episode
episode 7. Well done us for
Yes.
getting this far. It's been very exciting. The whole
Yeah.
thing has been very enjoyable, and I look forward to every day that we have this recording. I get all giddy, and I'm like, oh, we get to record another episode today, so this is nice.
Yeah. Same.
So, what have you been doing?
What have I been doing? Such a good question. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that my husband, my friend who I married, has been on a trip since he left on Sunday, and it is now Wednesday.
Yes.
And he is going into business with another person, and they are buying a boat.
Of course.
So, right?
Of course they are. That's exciting.
So, like, by the time this goes out, that will probably have gone through, and he will probably be on the boat, doing boatly things. I don't know what you do on a boat.
I think The Lonely Island has a song about it.
Yes.
There's an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they buy a boat. So maybe watch that, and then you'll get some sort of idea as to what might happen.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Do you like the
exciting.
sea?
I've never been to the sea.
Have you never been to the sea?
No, but I hear it's pretty cool.
Is that a joke? Have you never seen the sea with your own eyes?
No. Okay, like I've flown over it, and I've been to like shores.
Okay.
I have observed the ocean.
Okay.
But like I've never been out on the water.
Oh, okay. That's
floating
fine.
Vessel.
That's fine. I thought you meant you'd never been to a coastline before, and I was like,
no.
how? And I was going to say,
I've been to a few coastlines before.
Okay, few. Because I grew up by the coast, and I was like, that's not acceptable. You need to go see a seagull somewhere. Okay.
Speaking of the sea, I have also been reading Talia on the Shore of the Sea.
That is a fantastic plug.
2, right? Book 2 of the Servants of the Moon and Sun series by Flanagan Granneman, and I'm enjoying it a lot so far.
Amazing.
But I've been keeping my dog company on the couch because he's very sad that his fur daddy is not here right now. Oh. He's so sad.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. It breaks my heart because like we both are at home all the time.
Yeah.
So when anybody leaves, it's a big thing, and like he expected a return on the same day because that's how it always goes. So it's been a stressful few days. I've been doing a lot of reading though, so it's good.
Something.
Yeah.
Is your dog? I don't know if we can say your dog's name. If that's
Jeffrey.
Okay,
yeah.
Which is one of the best names I've ever heard of for a dog. I'm impressed. I love it very much. So is Jeffrey going to become a sea dog?
He may very well. I don't know. He's definitely invited to be on the boat. I don't know if he'll want to go on the boat. Especially like without me there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, well, I will need to receive some pictures of Sea Dog if Sea Dog happens.
Okay.
Because I feel like that could then become a children's book that we could write together.
Oh my god, yes! That would be adorable. Sea Dog.
There you go. That's one for the list of other stuff to do.
Right.
Add it to the list of whips. So have you been enjoying? Have you been having a nice time?
Yes.
Fucking hell! Have you been enjoying the book?
Yes, okay. I have a lot. It picked up right where the first book left off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a brief sort of like recap, checking in with the bad guys, what they're doing, and then we went right back to where the cliffhanger left off. So that's cool.
But you were super satisfied by that.
I mean, stuff happened right away, so yeah. I don't want to give spoilers, but like your favorite character is Shatter. Some stuff happens.
Oh, No, I have to read it.
No, you have to read it.
That's okay. It was
Yeah.
always going to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the kind of person that is like, now this thing interests me, now that thing interests me, and we were saying before the episode started recording. Fucking hell, the coffee's not working. Obviously, I've got a real buffer. The connection is poor today. Must be the weather. Yeah. So before we started recording, I was kind of saying that I don't really enjoy reading a series, more because, like, again, I get easily distracted. So I'm like, what's the next exciting thing? What's the next exciting thing? So unless there's like a ton of violence, I don't necessarily read the next book. Or if there's like a mystery to be solved, then I'll read the next book. But my to be read list is so fucking long, much like yours probably is as well, that I add one and then I feel slightly anxious. I might die before I read that book. So I can't promise that I'll read it, but I'll try.
Yeah. I try to keep my commitments sort of low and manageable.
Smart.
I've not committed to reading very many things. I want to read every single indie book ever published, but that's not practical.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely being very selective and keeping my list of priorities very straight. Because I'm exactly the opposite. Once I start a series, I'm committed. Like, if I get through the first few chapters, I will have to read the entire fucking thing from beginning to end, because like I fall in love with the characters, and my brain cannot stand an open loop. I have to know what happens. I have to get my closure. If I don't, I go slowly insane. So I've been going slowly insane for about 20 years. It's fine. It's fine.
Welcome to being an adult in 2025.
Just
part of it. But yeah, no, I find it fascinating to see how differently people read to me. Because as I said before, I'm a speed reader. So sometimes I will skip a chapter. It's not good. I'm sorry if you write a book and I skip a chapter, but you'll never find out unless you ask me a specific question about each chapter. If I get the gist and there's lots of rambly bollocks, then I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't need to be in the forest unless something's happening. So I'll then flick through, but I don't skip it. I don't like take the chapter and flip it over. I skim through the pages and look for buzzwords.
No, that's smart. You're going to get through so many more books than me in your lifetime.
I will say not every book. It's like the rare occasions where I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. You don't need to tell me anymore. That doesn't happen all the time. I will frequently read most of the book. So there's just the occasion where I just think that's not necessary. But that wasn't my choice. But yeah, and I will absolutely not read a book if I don't like it.
Yeah, there's one book in my lifetime that I have picked up, read the first few chapters of, and then sat down with no intention of ever finishing it.
Really?
Yes, one. And I don't remember what it's fucking called.
I wonder if one day you'll like start reading it and then go, I don't like this, but I don't know why.
No, it's very firmly stuck in my mind. The only thing that I don't remember is the title and the author. Like, I remember what the cover looks like. I remember the gist of the first couple of chapters. It was basically like, this kid wakes up and they're invisible and they go and tell their parents right away. And I'm like, okay, nope, that's not my kind of protagonist. Why? Why did you do that?
You could have had so much more mischief.
Exactly. You wake up invisible and you don't go tell your parents. It's not the first thing you do. There are so many things you do before you're like, okay, this might actually be a problem. I should ask for help. So many things.
Oh, 100%. Like larceny. No, that was so random. It's like the first crime I could think of. It's not even a good one. That's a boring one. Oh, whatever. I'd be a terrible criminal.
So would I.
To be honest.
I'm like not thorough and detail-oriented enough to be a good criminal.
Yeah. Also, my hair falls out all the time, and you know
Same.
that they're going to know it's my hair.
Right?
They're going to go, that's Saf. Anytime. Oh, okay. Well, you've been doing lots of reading, doing lots of being a support human for your dog.
Yes.
Have you managed to do any work on your writing?
I don't want to jinx it, but yesterday I wrote precisely 301 words of chapter 4.
Yay!
Of book 2.
That's really good.
Right?
That's really good. I'm so pleased for you.
I'm very excited. And hopefully that means something and not just that I was very bored yesterday. Because that's what happened. That's what finally broke the sort of like stalemate that I've been sitting in. I just sat on the couch. I just put my phone down. I wasn't ready to pick up Talia again. And I was just sitting with Jeffrey, and he was napping, and I didn't want to get up and move. But I didn't have anything to do. So I was just kind of sitting there, staring off into space, bored off my ass. And then I reached for chapter 4, and there were more words there.
Amazing.
Right? But the reason that hadn't happened over the past like 6 months is that I've been actively avoiding boredom. So like the very thing that I needed to beat writer's block, I was also avoiding. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to dedicate some time every day to just sitting and being bored.
That is such a tactic.
Right?
Okay, so that's fantastic that you found that, and hopefully that becomes a new tool for you.
Yes.
When you were writing, did you feel the relief of boredom and that's what kept you going for the 300 odd words? Or were you like, okay, I know this bit of the story now?
A little bit of column A, all of column B. Like I've been trying to get through this one little blank spot where there's nothing to the next part where there's something. Yeah. And I've had that something in my head for a long time, and it just hasn't been enough meatiness for me to write it down by itself.
Okay.
So I skipped a little bit of the blank spot and then filled in a little bit of the blank spot and then started on the stuff that I already know about. And that's really boring. Like when you've been over a loop of a clip in your head 100,000 times and you haven't written it down yet, it gets really boring to write it down. Yeah. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if everybody's like that.
I can empathize with that.
Okay. But that's where my brain was like, nope, this is too boring now. So no. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We're not going to fight it. It's 300 words. It's more than I've written in a very long time for this thing. So I'm happy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you thought about the next part since?
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
It's better than going, okay, I'm done now.
And yeah, right.
I mean, that's never going to happen to you, I don't think. But I think...
Probably not.
No. I don't think you'll ever be finished, really. Because there'll be more to tell. I feel like there's more... You're going to be like, I could add this detail, or we could do this little thing with it. Because you really love it, and you want it. But this is the thing, like... And that's not... It's not criticism, it's more that I know that you're, like, living the book as well. And you're like in it and exploring it yourself, and that's very exciting. And the thought of that ending, I imagine, would be quite challenging.
Yeah, but there's other stuff that I also want to write, so I do need to finish this at some point, hopefully within the next few years. I don't really want to dedicate an entire decade to this practice project. That would be a little ridiculous.
Not necessarily ridiculous, it's just an exercise. If it's a practice. As long as you're learning stuff along the way about yourself.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
Worth it.
What about you? What have you been up to this week, this time, recently?
Stuff. I didn't.
Fascinating.
Yeah, no, I work in such a sporadic fashion that I find it hard to then relay what I've done unless it's like a standout event. So, for example, I haven't stopped, but could I name 10 things I've done? No. I've caught up on the features that were hanging around from when I was away. So I feel like I'm more up to date with what's going on with the website, and I've also been working with a writer, Greg, who has started a column on idiosyncrasy, which is basically going to be writing advice bi-weekly. So it'll include things like the actual like art of writing, and also how to get feedback, how to interpret the feedback, good resources. So for example, he's going to be reviewing some writing books that provide advice and help and stuff, so that you can kind of tell what types of resources you can use to help with your own problems and things like that.
Cool.
So because he's a teacher, it's really good, and I feel like I'm being taught a lesson. So as I'm reading through some of the drafts that he's producing, it's very impressive, and I think it's going to be a really good addition to the website, because I think initially I want it to be a place where like people who want to find a book and writers could come, but I feel like it's just going to lean towards the writers at this point, because they're the ones that are looking at it, and writers love reading as well. So
Yeah.
I think where the website is going is not where I predicted it was going to go, but I'm kind of following the foot traffic.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because my whole deal is I don't want to spend like thousands of dollars and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of my time for something that nobody wants, because what's the point? That's just a vanity project at that point, and I have not got the income to do that. And that's on me, because I don't charge anyone for anything. So my whole thing is that if it's not needed, then what's the point? And I still want to keep doing it, but I feel like it's just going to evolve into a different space. So I've also got another writer. I don't know if I can name him yet, because he hasn't confirmed whether or not he wants to do it for definite, and I know he's not going to listen to this, so it's fine, because I asked him a question about it and he admitted, he was like, oh, you got me, I'm not listening to it, and I said that's fine. So he's going to be writing another piece about a different aspect of like marketing and stuff, so that's going to be quite helpful as well. So what I want to do is try and find people that can do regular columns, hopefully on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. This is a slight advert if anyone's interested. You don't have to be a writer. If you've got something that you want to share about the whole writing process, I'd love to hear from anyone, really. But yeah, so I'm looking at doing like regular stuff and also like guest blogging as well. So yeah, I've just been kind of doing a lot of faffing about, lots of like fiddly little bits, and I've been doing lots of like ARC reading recently and reviewing and stuff like that, which is like, it's like fun, and I'm glad to help people, but then I feel pressured to read, and that's quite stressful. So that's something I think I'm probably going to pull away from, unless it's something that I really am interested in doing. Thankfully, everything that I've read so far I've enjoyed to some degree. So I recently got to read an anthology that RDG Books Press put together. So that's Rod Gilly. I don't know if you've seen him floating around on X, but it was basically his first anthology through his publishing house, and it was actually fantastic. So I think one or two of the stories I was like, not my kind of thing, but there's like a really good mixture for people that like horror. This isn't that I haven't been paid to say that. I've literally finished reading it like 2 days ago, so I just thought that's what I've done recently. But yeah, so I said that I'd review that in advance, just so that he's got some reviews before it goes live. But yeah, that's been quite fulfilling, because I feel like I'm actually doing something helpful, because people are like, hey, this would help me, and I do it, and I'm like, I've helped. Rather than, I think people want this thing, and then spending loads of time on it and going, why don't you like it? Which has happened. So yeah,
that's kind of when you're not following the trends on what's like current and hip with books right now. That's basically what you're doing. You're spending lots of time and probably money to put this thing out there that you're not sure anybody wants. And you know, when you're doing it for the hell of it, that's fine. But like, if you're trying to be more marketable than that, you have to do a lot of research first, and that's not my thing.
So boring.
I know, it's boring, and then you're committed to writing what other people want instead of what you want to write. I don't want to write what other people want to read. I want to write what I want to read. And if someone else wants to read it also, cool.
I think you can often tell when somebody's written for a trend or written because they think it's going to sell well.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's less soul in it. I don't know how to explain it. And there are going to be outliers. Whatever I say is opinion based. You don't have to believe it. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. But my opinion is that you can really tell when somebody actually gives a shit about the thing they're writing about.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. Like the authors that have approached me to read things that they're so excited to share with me, I can absolutely feel it vibrating off the page.
Nice.
And that is exciting to me. And I get excited about reading it, even if there are like glaring problems with it. I think, this is brilliant because you're so excited that you want to share it with me. Oh my God, that's nice. That's the best feeling. That's what I want people to get more involved with the indie community as well. Like if you're a reader and you want something more exciting out of your books, just get to know the authors. Some of them don't want to talk to you, respect their boundaries, but there are some authors that are like, yeah, ask me about my book. They mean it. They absolutely want you to email them about it and sell them messages. Be careful. But like about the book, and they want to ask you questions. They want to answer your questions. So it's just such a vibe. I love it.
Yeah.
It just gives it so much more. So good.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. Absolutely anything except write my own book.
Fantastic.
I actually scheduled to write some today, and I was like, oh no, I better do such and such instead. And I think, what the fuck did I do that for?
Yeah.
It's fine.
So do you usually like schedule your time like that? Do you observe a regular schedule or no? Okay.
No.
It's just
so what I tend to do is I try and block things out in my calendar to say, let's say for example, I blocked out like tomorrow and the next day. One of the days I'm going to be editing this week's episode of Booked. The other day I've set aside to write. However, that just means that I don't then plan things that have to do on that day. So for example, if I'm like, oh, I need to, I don't know, do a review or whatever it is, that's a lame example, but there's some things that I have to do on certain days. So if I block them out, it means that I have like semi-protected time. So that's saying like, you haven't really got any excuses not to do it. So maybe try and find some time today. But if I can't be bothered to do it, it means that I'm not feeling it that day. And there are some days where I go and I'm like, right, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to write, and I go, oh, I don't want to do that. And so I'll close it because I'm not going to get anything good out of it. And what's the point?
Yeah.
So I can't be regimented. Ever. Food, sleep, writing. I don't think I'm going to have a kid because I would probably suffer from my neglect. Sometimes I just don't shower because I can't be bothered. So
I don't know what that's like at all. No idea what you're talking about. I am the most regulated person I know.
I don't believe you. I'm not feeling you're lying.
It's not lying, it's sarcasm.
Oh. It's just sarcasm's just fancy lying.
Okay. I've never heard that one before, but I like it. Sarcasm is just fancy lying. That is such a cool coffee mug.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is it like what is it from? Where is it from?
I don't know. Got it as a present.
Okay.
I asked for I understand how privileged this sounds. I asked for a very specific type of mug, and I got the wrong one, but I'm pleased that I did.
There you go.
So my mum asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said a mug that has a thumb indent in it. That's the opposite.
That's the opposite. It's a finger indent.
It's like a finger sleeve that goes in there.
Very cool.
But I've got massive hands, so only like the very tips of my fingers go in it. But that's enough to get a grip. But you can't put like a black coffee in here because you'll burn your hands. So the design is actually incredibly flawed. So if you like cool hot drinks, then this is the kind of mug for you. If you like a piping hot coffee, just wear gloves. Or get a normal cup, because this isn't the one. But yeah, so I opened it, I went, what the fuck is that? And she was like, what? And I said, I've never seen a mug like this before. And she was like, oh no. But I like it. It's very good.
Cool.
It's really hot outside and actually quite uncomfortable to be holding a hot drink this close to my hands. I've committed to it at this point, and that's where we're going with it.
Cool.
And that was my TED talk about this fucking mug. All you said was, that's a nice mug, and then I went off on one. That's what happens! Imagine living with me. Fucking hell. Oh, I feel sorry for my husband, honestly. He's got the patience of the same. Patience? Oh my god, get a grip. It's fine.
It's fine. So when are you planning on doing any writing soon, or are you just the type of person who will not write unless they have something to write? Like, you're really feeling it and you gotta sit down with the empty page or the last line or whatever.
I have to have a deadline.
Okay.
Self-imposed deadlines don't work for me because I don't mind letting myself down.
Right.
That doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I will let myself down every day. I do. In fact, the moment I wake up. But so I basically have told all the people that I want to be my alpha readers. I've gone rogue here, and you're one of them. I've gone rogue here, and I've asked like 10 people. Which is nuts and stupid.
That's a lot of
I've
people.
done it anyway because I thought, fuck it, we're going to do this all wrong. So my idea is that if I share the dumpster fire version with 10 people, I've got a better chance, because I've tried to pick people who like different genres, which goes against all the advice they give you. I don't give a shit. I'm doing it my way. It's my book. So what I wanted to do is see if it makes sense. Firstly, does it make people want to read more? Because I'd like to appeal to more than the genre will appeal to a stranger. So yeah, my thoughts are like, does it make sense? I feel like people that are going to look at it outside of the genres that I've put it in, which is sci-fi thriller, even then I'm a bit iffy on it. I'm a bit iffy on the thing because there's like sci-fi elements, but it's not a sci-fi book. So I figured, fuck it, I'll just let a bunch of people read it. And then if everybody says this is terrible, then I know that I need to rewrite it. If like one person says I hate it, I'm going to look at it subjectively. And I'm hoping that by getting that feedback, because I've tried to pick people who are better at like structuring sentences and chapters and all that sort of stuff. I had feedback from somebody, I won't name them, but they gave me very similar advice to you, where I've like mixed the tenses, and that can be a bit confusing. And I've had that feedback from several people. I know that that's the case because I switched it from third to first person, and it's still in that sloppy state of like transition. So because I've told everybody that it will be done by the end of this month, I'm going to force that out of my arse if I have to. I'm going to squeeze myself like a cheap toothpaste until it all comes out. And then I'll hand everybody that, and I'll say, this is a dumpster fire, but I want to know if it, like, what out of this is like glaringly a problem. Because I know there's going to be spelling, grammar issues, there's going to be sentence structure issues. It's more about where the story is going, the way it's structured. It's a little bit flitty, so there's like POV of the main character for quite a significant portion of the book, and then that goes away, and then we get a POV from somebody else, and all of it's in first person but different characters. And so I just want to know, basically, does it make sense? Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? What are your feelings about it? And then I'll kind of know where to go from there, because I don't think that I could bear the thought of having gone through a small amount of alpha readers and then gone through an editing phase and then giving it to beta readers, and then at that point them telling me that it's a bit of a mess. Don't think I can handle that, because I'd probably go, well, that's going in the fucking bin because I can't be bothered. Because I'm that sort of, if I'm going to put in hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work, which I've already done, I don't want to then put loads more time in, pay an editor, and then be told I have to change it again. I can't operate like that. So we're doing it backwards, and that's how it's going to go. So we'll see what happens. So by the end of this month, I'm hoping that I will have something to give to people to then be like, does that make sense? And then if they're like, no, then I know why you did.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm excited now.
Cool. Nice. But yeah, it's to go back to your question, I can't really set aside time unless I'm like, right, I only have a week to do this, so I have to do it in every waking moment. And then all of a sudden, all my inspiration comes flooding in. All I want to do is write, because I think, oh, I've only got these. It's like watching 24. I've only got 24 hours of usable time to write this book. And that's how I got through my fucking degree at 20 years old. Is that I was like, oh, well, it's due tomorrow, so I better start it. And that's how I work. Because I can't get the rush otherwise.
Yeah.
An excitement rush, otherwise I can't. I'm not that kind of writer. So if I force myself to do stuff, I end up like restructuring things, and rather than actually writing something, I'll like bullet point a chapter or something.
Cool. What do you think of the advice of protect your writing time? Which means like make sure that you have that time and that nothing will get in the way of it. So like you don't organize your sock drawer during that time. You don't abide interruptions during that time. What do you think of that?
I think that having any advice as a blanket statement for all writers is utterly stupid.
Okay.
I think that absolutely works for some people. And that if you, let's say, for example, you like work a standard 9-to-5 job, and let's say you've got like kids or other responsibilities in the evening, and all the time that you have to write is between the hours of 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. Absolutely, that works. I know a couple of writers that are like that. If that is the only time that you have to protect that time. Whereas if you're someone like me who is like, I'm going to start a website and do 2 podcasts, and I'm going to write a book as well, and look. That's how I work. Like an absolute hurricane of nonsense. And having protected writing time is ridiculous to me, because I won't do it. If I then say, I have to do this thing, my rebel alliance in my brain goes, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not doing that. You're going to tell me what to do? Unless there's a doctor's appointment, a hair appointment, or the dentist, or like court. I'm not keeping an appointment. I don't like doing that. I'm not a scheduled person. So I think it's absolutely sound advice if you are a neurotypical person.
If you are capable of keeping appointments with yourself, absolutely go for it. But yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
All of my time is writing time.
Which is fantastic.
Right?
But that allows you to have the time of like, I can't feel it today. And that's fine, because you know there's going to be more time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Deadlines are also helpful to me. That's how I finished drafting book 1 was my one beta reader, alpha reader really, expected a new chapter every week or every other week at the very least.
That's nice.
And and we would just sit and read it like together, and he would give me feedback immediately.
That's nice.
So, right?
That's really
He's
cool. What a good friend.
friend.
Yeah, that's like top friend goals.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
Right?
Fantastic friend.
He also listens to this podcast religiously.
Hello! This is specifically for you. We're so glad you're here. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
He's very cool.
Aww.
Right now we're long distance friends, but we've known each other for over a decade.
Wow. Oh, that's
nice. It is. It's nice.
That's sweet. Oh, I love long distance friends because you don't have to spend time with them.
But then you can do silly things like record podcasts with them.
Yes! It's time we pick to do a specific thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I've known for like 20 years. We met in your high school. Not your high school, but like it's high school for American people. And secondary school for the Brits out there. Respect the Brits. Oh, I don't know why I said that. That was weird. That was such a weird thing to say. I don't know what the hand movement was. If it means something, I don't know about that. I just was doing this. Fucking hell. I've had so much caffeine today and it is affecting me mentally. Anyway, we've been friends for a really long time, and I will not hear from her for ages. I'm sure I've told you about her before. I won't hear from
Probably.
her for weeks, and then she'll send me just a weird message out of the blue saying that she's done or eaten something strange, and she doesn't know where it came from or something like that. And I think, oh, that's nice. I like our friendship because I don't have to worry about her. She's like a cactus or like a plant you don't have to water very much, and that's what I like out of friendships. I can't deal with a high maintenance friendship because I am not reliable as a person or a friend.
uh,
What are you like as a friend?
what am I like, or what do I like as a friend?
Both.
Both. Okay. I don't know what I'm like as a friend. I don't have very many friends.
Mhm.
So I'm very not very much of a friend, I suppose. I don't know. I try to be easy to talk to. I try to be supportive. I don't know.
I can absolutely see that from the limited interactions that we get on a weekly basis. You're a very supportive person.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to be. Um, and what I like in a friend is reciprocation, basically. You know, like I'm not expected to put in more effort or like emotional labor than I get back in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool if I could do like friend dates, but I don't know people around here. So yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh. I'd friend date you.
I'm probably very friend dateable.
I reckon you are.
I don't know.
I get that vibe from you. I reckon I can imagine somewhere that does nice tea or coffee being like a place that has like your table, and that's the table you always go to.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what I see for you, the future.
Yeah. I could probably write that short story. Now I want to.
Go on then.
Just like a short story about people who are friends who have a table at a coffee shop. I don't know anything else about it, but that's the idea. Cool.
I dare you. You have to now.
Okay.
Those are the rules.
I better write it down, otherwise I'll forget.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. I'm gonna write this down.
You're seeing the magic at work, listeners / watchers.
Okay, I wrote it down.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Something I wanted to ask you about your series of books.
Okay.
Are there any scenes that you replay in your head over and over again because you love them so much?
Yes. But I typically will start doing that and then be like, I would much rather be reading this right now. And then I will open the document where it is and read it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't have the whole thing memorized, but I do that a lot. I do that a lot.
That's cool.
So yeah. What about you? Do you find yourself replaying stuff from Blackout or rereading it obsessively?
The only reason that I've read the first half of the book over and over again is because I sometimes forget what happened. I think because the first chapter is based on something that actually happened to me, I replay it over and over again, but because of the trauma, not because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I was curious because I think because of the content of your epic story, I imagine there are lots of very like relivable moments for you that are joyous for you to have written, and you would enjoy vicariously living through reading and remembering that part of the book.
That's basically the whole idea, yeah.
No, I was just curious because I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have had these like moments where we like play out like imaginary scenarios of like a fantasy nature, and not necessarily always naughty or whatever, but probably a lot. Where we like, I don't know, for example, I used to, as a kid, used to pretend that not pretend, but I used to imagine, like, what if I lived in Spyro the Dragon's world? And I had it in my head that if I was ever rich, that I would build a house and every room would look like a different Spyro level. And I still want to do that. That dream has not gone away, but probably the cost of materials has risen significantly
Probably.
since that original dream. So I probably have to be significantly more wealthy to do that.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious. I think it's interesting what the the motivations behind why people tell the stories that they tell.
Yeah.
Because some people are living that like alternate reality, and some people are like, what if I just express my deepest, darkest fears and then shared them with people and freaked them out as well? So yeah. I just had that floating around in my head earlier, and I wanted to ask you, and I was like, oh, now I've got you. I might as well, might as well tickle your brain a little bit. Oh, that was creepy. It's gross. Oh.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh dear. I got a new book. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this one?
Yeah. Yes. No. Kind of.
This one here.
That looks like a statue. Oh, okay. Yes, now I see it.
It says Eyes Wide Open.
Okay.
By Jan. Can't pronounce your surname. I apologise. I call him Janathy sometimes, Jonathan, because I can't pronounce his surname. But he writes fantastic, like, horror stuff. I'm very excited to read it.
Cool.
So maybe I'll tell you about that at some point.
Yeah.
We are going to be reading another book at least once in our lives. For next week's episode. For next week's episode, we're going to be reading another book. So this is one that I previously read that I'm very excited for you to read. I don't know if we're going to say what it is yet, but
we can if you want to.
Okay.
I don't have a preference.
Okay. I'm going to get excited about it because I love this book so much. It's called Keeper of the Dead by Ryan Young, and I was gifted this book through the efforts of Idiosyncrasy, and I'm so glad because I wouldn't necessarily have picked it up, but it's absolutely my type of book. There's just something about it. It made me cry at the end. I'm very excited to find out if you cried as well.
I probably will.
I don't cry a lot of books. I cry a lot about, like, I don't know, like sad looking dogs and when people say goodbye. I hate things like that. But yeah, this book is a humdinger. I'm interested to see if you like it because it's like an end of the world sort of apocalypse thing, but it's such a different way of looking at what would happen at the time. And there's a lot of that's been coming out recently that I've noticed. I don't know if anyone's seen the group of horror writers, the Dark Veil Society, kicking around, but they're basically like a group of horror writers that have gotten together to kind of like mutually support each other. And there have been a few post-apocalyptic books that have come out of this group of people. It's just a coincidence because they all started writing at different times that give such a different perspective of the like zombie apocalypse sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's so exciting to see because you always get the same fucking shit all the time. And I love it. I don't like zombie films, but I love a zombie book. And there's just something about this new take that I'm seeing happen in the indie scene. I don't know if it's just new to me or if it's been happening for years or whatever, but I'm loving seeing these like alternate options of how we perceive those events happening. It's very exciting. I love seeing these things happen in the indie world. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to read it. I've got my copy up here somewhere.
I see it.
Yay! I'm a little bit nervous because I don't need any new book-related trauma, and I'm worried that there's going to be gory parts, but
there is a bit.
Okay. If it's not, like, super ridiculously graphic or, like, super ridiculously just in your face, I don't know what that was.
I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm very sensitive to that kind of stuff, which is why I don't like horror movies at all. Mm-hmm. And I will typically not watch them. Mm-hmm. And I don't really read a whole lot of horror books either. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also very excited because of some of the things that you've said about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
very tender, and like I read the blurb on the back
Mm-hmm.
of the book, so I kind of have an idea of where that sort of vibe is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm excited to get to the end and cry a little.
It's one of those things where that obviously because of the subject matter there are quite graphic bits, and there are
Uh-huh.
parts where you think, oh my god, what is going to happen, and like please don't die. Loads of moments like that because of the situation that this person is in, but the
Yeah.
focus is largely on this main character and their the way that they navigate and try and survive emotionally, physically. And I just found that really quite enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was in like a different setting and it was just like some dude struggling, I'd be like, oh nah, I'm not interested in that. But I'm like, some dude struggling in an apocalypse, yes please, that works. So no, I'm interested to see what you think of it, and
Yeah.
if there are any parts where you're like, this is too much, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not afraid to hit fast forward and skip pages.
That's okay. I already admitted to doing it, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between like skimming something and just like not being able to handle the content
Yeah.
of
Sure.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a sensitive person.
What? What did
What?
you say?
What?
What
I
did you
said I'm a
say?
sensitive person,
Oh.
only like pretending to cry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I have been told that I will at some point become less sensitive, but that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know when that's supposed to happen.
I don't think that matters.
No.
I think the world would be a boring place if we all had the same reactions to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be sensitive. It's lovely.
Thank you.
The only person that's going to negatively affect is you. And if you're okay with it, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I've basically like come to understand that being told that I'm too sensitive was just another way of for the people around me to gaslight me into
Mm-hmm.
believing that I'm not a worthy person and there's something fundamentally wrong with me. So,
Fuck
yeah,
those
I'm
people.
right. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with me. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with anyone. Everyone is allowed to be as exactly as sensitive as they are
Mm-hmm.
naturally. Like there's no such thing as too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's not really any such thing as not sensitive enough either. Maybe that's not true.
I was going to
there,
say,
there's
there are
a
some
certain amount of
diagnoses.
sensitivity that is kind of necessary for establishing connections with other humans and giving people basic dignity. So yeah,
That's
maybe
very
it doesn't go
rare.
in the opposite direction.
But that's very rare.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, if anybody says that to you again, send them my way. Not having that. Not having that. That's
Will you
bullying.
actually punch them, or are you going to give them a gift too?
No, I'll do this. And that'll freak them out and they'll go, what? Scare
Okay.
them.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I haven't actually gotten that message from anyone in a very long time because I've stopped surrounding myself with not nice people.
I'm
So,
proud of you. That's
thank you.
hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
It is.
But you did it.
Especially when it's like all you've known. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm super proud of you because that's a very uncomfortable growth thing when you change your environment on purpose, even if you know deep down it's the right thing to do for yourself. Because what if it doesn't work out and it's worse? And you did it anyway, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh my god. Okay.
So,
So,
what you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so-
Like, are we actually out of things to talk about? I don't think so. We just had that moment of awkward dead air that you're probably going to edit out. So
I might not because that was kind
you
of
might
funny.
not. Okay.
I'll
That's
see
fine
how it
too.
sounds.
Okay. Cool.
There was
What are
one
we doing?
moment where, and I'll keep this in for an
Mhm.
example. There was one moment that I cut out a bit in the last episode where you said something, and I was just like, for a good solid like 3 seconds, and it looked so creepy, and I was like, I can't have my face doing that unless I'm giving an example, in which case it's fine. It was proper awkward, and I was like, that is fucking awful. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I was so excited about Hugh's blog post in response to the last episode of Strangers in Fiction. I really enjoyed reading it. I thought it was neat. He
He's so
answered
cool
like all
like
of our questions.
right? He's so cool like that. If you're
Yeah.
like, hey, can you write something for me? He's like, yeah. It's sick. It's sick.
Yeah.
He is a really I don't know. I love how involved he is with his worlds and his writing and how he takes it all to heart and stuff. It's really cool. He's quite a
Yeah.
reactive, but in a positively reactive writer. Um, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Go check it out.
Yes. Yes,
I'll even put
definitely.
we'll put the link to the blog
There you
post
go.
in the description of this episode. I pointed
Yeah.
down to where the description is in case you're just listening to audio. You're welcome. It might be to the side. I don't know which side it is. So I'll do this. It'll be somewhere in the description, pointing in all the places. I don't know where it will be on the platform.
It'll be somewhere.
Yeah, it gets disseminated, and I don't know what has video and what doesn't. I just click the button and I go, "That's done." Finish that one.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff and things.
I think this is the first time we've ever like struggled to come up with something interesting to say. Normally we can just keep going for like over an hour without
Yeah.
any problems.
Yeah.
But I think things are just we're getting back into the swing of things
Yeah.
after your very long trip and
Yes.
such. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also something that fuels the two of us in a lengthy conversation is absolute delirium.
That's probably true.
And we are both very put together today.
Yeah.
Which is strange. And I feel like that's where that's coming from. This like
Okay.
limitation of conversation is because we're both all right. We're both doing okay today.
Yep.
We're both like having a really weird day is when it just doesn't stop. And I like that we have these different modes. It's just a different experience. But
Yeah.
I'm even wearing a shirt.
You usually wear shirts though.
It's a different kind of shirt.
Okay.
It's like one with a collar. You can't see it because I've got hair. Looks like I'm wearing my granddad's shirt because I don't iron. I don't believe in ironing. I mean, I believe it exists. It's not like Santa, but like I don't see the point in it. This is the point in ironing. It's gonna get. I roll around and stuff. So it just anyway. So I'm like, what the fuck's the point? Am I gonna stand there hot and sweaty over this steaming iron for me to then crease up again? What a ridiculous notion.
I do a little bit of ironing, but only handkerchiefs. I have a stack of handkerchiefs back here. Actually, thank you. I hand stitch them, and I iron them every time I wash them.
That's really cute.
I love my handkerchiefs.
That's very nice. How wholesome,
right?
I know people, my grandma, who will iron socks and bedding and underpants.
Okay.
She's retired though, so she's got time.
That's cool. It's good that everyone has stuff that they like to do to fill their time.
I was really scraping at the bottom of the barrel, wasn't it? We've run out of things to say. Let me talk about my grandma ironing her pants.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Glad we ironed that one out.
I really hope that my 6 months or basically 6 months of writer's block is over now, because I've been low key panicking that the whole I'm gonna finish drafting book 2 this year, like in this calendar year, was just not gonna happen because I'd just be blocked the whole time. But hopefully that's over now. I really don't want to jinx it though, so I'm gonna stop talking about it.
I'm willing it to happen.
Okay.
Spooky magic. I'm not a witch, but I play one on TV.
Okay.
Yes, I truly believe in you, and the next time we meet, I'm putting some pressure on you now.
Okay.
The next time we meet, you're going to have written at least another 300 more words.
Okay.
That's all you need to do. If you can do 300, that's perfect.
Cool.
If you do more than that, that's a bonus. We got a whole week. I will be setting a timer now.
Well, we don't have a whole week because we're recording Wednesday this week and we're recording Tuesday next week. Or is that a whole week? My weeks are 8 days because, like, it's impossible for me.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They make up an extra day.
Because when you hit the same day of the week the next week, that means you know it's been a week. But if you don't hit that day yet, then you don't know for sure if it's been a week.
Okay. I thought you meant that's how you schedule your time, and I thought, what the fuck are you talking about?
No. I don't have, like, an extra magical floating day. No, that'd be really cool if I had, like, a time turner, and I could just be like, nope, I'm giving myself another day to do this.
If I had an extra day, I'd be lazier.
Yeah, probably. Like, if I had an extra day, I would always know I have an extra day.
Yeah, right.
So I don't have to do it until the actual 11th hour. Because I'm creating another. Oh my god, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
I would never get anything done.
I'd be perpetually laying down, and then I'd get bed sores, and that would be a whole thing.
Oh my god.
The reason why I do anything is because the panic of the ticking of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting older every day. I've got stuff I want to get done. It freaks me out. Aging doesn't freak me out if I get wrinkles and grey hair. Cool. Whatever. Losing time freaks me out. And as I get older, I'm like, if I don't do it today, then it may never happen. And and then I get existential and I have to have a lay down again. So it's not very helpful. But yeah.
Yeah. I have this fear that I will wake up tomorrow and be, like, in my 60s or 70s and still not have gotten anything done.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
That's really depressing.
Yeah, it is.
Being old isn't depressing to me.
Right.
It's not taking advantage of my brain and my body being in the condition that it's in now. Because I see people in my life that are older, whether they're, like, customers or whatever, and I think, oh man, that's going to suck balls if I haven't done all the things that require me to be quite active. The thought of that freaks me out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to, like, be ageist or anything. There's nothing wrong with being old, and there's nothing wrong with old people. But,
no,
like,
right.
But it's just, it is terrifying, the idea of wasting one's youth.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I only get that now that I'm getting, like, aches and pains in my body. And I'm like, if it's happening now, I'm fucked. That concerns me. But it's something that you're told, isn't it, by people that are older, and they're like, oh, you know, when I was your age, blah, blah, blah. And you think, yeah, fuck off, you old person, or whatever. And like, as you then start to physically age, even just a tiny bit, you think, oh my gosh, the reality of time. And that is so scary. That's probably one of the scariest things about being a human, is actually being conscious of time passing. It gets me very panicky.
Yeah. And the inevitability of death. That's another one.
Yeah.
Because that's why getting old is scary, because
Mm-hmm.
eventually you'll be out of time and you don't know when it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And on that note,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. The Strangest in Fiction.
Are we ending it now?
I mean, we can if you want to.
I don't know. I've suppressed myself, so that's fun.
Yeah, no, let's talk about something happy first. I don't want to end on that note. That's too
wall.
depressing.
Just gonna go stare at the wall and have a bit of a cry.
Oh no.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Books and stuff. This is the other thing as well. I'm going back to the depressing thing for a second.
Cool.
When I think about all of the books that exist that I want to read, yes. I know I haven't got enough time to read them all before I die, and that makes me so sad.
Oh my god, I'm at a point right now where I have been, over the past several months, seriously considering dropping Interdimensional Bachelorette as a project, because I may not have time to finish it in my lifetime. Unless...
That's scary.
I know. Unless I start writing a lot faster. Unless I get a lot faster in producing the books that are necessary to finish the story. Mm-hmm. It just won't happen. Yeah. And then I won't get to move on to the serious projects that I have in the pipeline. Mm-hmm. But, like, I know that it's theoretically possible. Mm-hmm. It's just, it depends on what mood my brain is in on any given day. And I don't control that. So, like, there's so much of my process that is just completely out of my hands. Mm. So, like, it's weird that I'm not a more religious person, because there's just so much that I have to, like, let go and let God.
I know, I totally get where you're coming from, and I think there may come a time in the future where you decide to pick up a different project. Mm-hmm. And have them run alongside one another, so that when you have these moments of, like, not in the mood for this, you might be in the mood for that. And that's what I've found actually quite helpful, is that I started writing another book and a short story, so that if I'm like, I need to write something, and sometimes I'm like, I want to write something, just not that, and then I can go to something else and let that energy out into that thing, and then I feel satisfied, and then it keeps your, like, foot in the door.
Yeah, I have done that before, but the projects were all really similar. Mm-hmm. So I was able to keep them all in mind without having to switch tracks too much. Okay. But yeah, thanks for reminding me about that little trick, because that is definitely a trick. Mm-hmm. And I should probably be doing that, because there's so many other things that I could be writing if I'm not able to write this main project that I have. So
yeah, give it a go, because you might find that even starting a different project, that you then guilt yourself into giving attention back to Interdimensional Bachelorette, which is one of the hardest things to say.
Yeah, it is. You can just call it IB for short if you want to. Okay. That won't offend me.
IB,
yeah.
But yeah, you might find that you feel like you're, like, neglecting it, and then it powers you to work on it anyway. I'd take it as a consideration. Yeah.
It's a good trick. And I completely forgot about it. But that's how I won NaNoWriMo in, like, 2023, was I had, like, 3 different projects. Yeah, all running at the same time. So.
But it comes back to that deadline, doesn't it? Because if you're, like, pressuring yourself, because I know that you try and, like, manage your pressures and try not to give yourself too much to do, because otherwise it's stressful, which is sensible. In some aspects, if you're like, I need to rocket up the arse to get this thing done, then maybe, like, adding some gentle pressure in that direction might be helpful for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does help sometimes, and I never know what time it's going to be helpful. So, like, I always just kind of have to try it and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the whole thing. One of the many ideas behind what I'm doing now is teaching myself how I finish stuff. And teaching myself about my process, because nobody can teach you about your own process. You have to figure that out yourself. Everybody has advice, but that's what works for them. and we're all really, really different.
Yes.
As creators and writers and such. So
Megas
we
of
just
worlds.
gotta figure it out. Yeah. That's a much better note to end on.
That was nice. We had some problem solving, had a little giggle. I like that. I think it's safe now.
Yeah. It's safe to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna crawl under my desk like a little freak and just rock back and forth anymore. Might just
stare
go
at
get
the
some
wall
water instead. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. And stay tuned for the next episode of Strangers in Fiction, where we'll be talking about Keeper of the Dead by Ryan Young.
Yes, stay tuned for more unhinged talk about the unreal on the regular. Thank you for joining us today, Book Goblins. And I keep forgetting that we want to call our listeners Book Goblins. But I'm trying. I'm trying to remember all the things. It's fine.
Remember, there is a book goblin in all of us.
Yes.
Gobbling up the books.
Yes.
And
stay tuned for more unhinged talk about the unreal on the regular.
And that's where I'll fade the music in.
Sweet.
Yeah.